takes down, that's going to be locked. We know Syndra's going to be mid. We know Renekton at this point has to be top, but Sejuani could always flex jungle.
Yeah, I mean, the Renekton, if Sejuani does go top lane, would get outscaled, but would have early pressure in lane. So when I look at this top side, it is very, I want to say dated, because it's something that's definitely been played before. You just don't necessarily see these champs at the top of the meta. But the way it works is both lanes have really good gank setup. Lee Sin is a really good ganker, so it allows you to play to the top side of the map with a lot of aggression.
So across the summer split, as we look at bans coming through still to the top side, getting rid of things like Ornn, it's been 5 Sejuani games for Doran, but also 3 for Peanut. So it's been comfortably a flex for these two players throughout the LCK, coming through now into Worlds. But they're saying, no, we think you're going to move Sejuani down. You're going to find an even beefier tank top side. Maybe to secure some scaling, we'll see. As Koala also dropped away for Chovy.
Yeah, interesting with the Ornn ban. Ornn is another one of those outscale picks. And there are a lot of jungle bans with the Viego Graves already taken out. I really do feel like Doran's just going to play the Sejuani top lane, but we'll have to see as Gen.G enters the 4-5.
I like the world's champ, delete Yumi, victory! I like we got to scroll through all of them. So it does leave Azir up, by the way, as unless you're going to play Lux mid, which I heavily down. It is his most played across all of summer. It is the only champ he has played so far at Worlds. I don't know how good Azir Syndra is as a lane. Maybe that's why Syndra was blocked, to try to block an Azir pick. Maybe Mission likes the matchup. But if he wants it, clearly it's up there. The data is out there. You know it's available. And the fact they're not banning it means they must think they like the mid matchup.
Yeah, I mean, even Kalista Renata is going to be available for Flying Oyster as well. So definitely a lot of aggression. It will be heavily outranged by the Caitlyn Lux. So it's really going to be, like, Gemini has all gankable lanes. He actually has too many lanes to gank if you're trying to craft, like, the, quote, perfect team comp. But it does give him an absurd number of options.
Okay, Sejuani top, Hecarim into the jungle. Ahri comes through as the mid lane of choice. Post 6, she can probably ult away for a gank attempt, but pre-6, Syndra stun into combo.
Let's go.
Pretty well. That'd be fun. That would be so much fun.
Just do it. Let's go for it.
Would have to play behind minions, or she auto dies to the hook. You can always follow that up. As the time ticks down.
The fact that he's laughing makes me think he's not going to do it.
But he's getting the impressions. And it's going to be
still
good. This is the most early game team you could possibly draft in League of Legends.
It's still good. I don't know why you don't just hover the Pyke the whole time. You're blitz baiting, but the Pyke is also awesome. There's so many kill opportunities for them early game. Gemini, he's going to feel bad about farming any camps because he's always going to want to be ganking somewhere. So they need to be very clear in their communication and very clean in their play, because Gen.G is going to be pushing so many lanes. They're going to be farming up a storm, becoming this inevitable beast of a team comp, but Flying Oyster will just want to fight.
Expectations pathing towards bot. Pyke, I mean, you almost want to run cleanse on Lux, to be honest. Like, get me out of that Pyke stun.
I mean,
let me get away somehow. There's no way you actually do it here, but yeah, pre-6, mid feels playable off Syndra stun. At any point in time, bot lane, it's a Pyke lane. I'm going to throw them at you with Kalista if it's post-6, if it's pre-6. We're just going to go for the Ghost Water dive into a stun. Like, let's get it going. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. CTBC Flying Oyster, in both their games, first blood. In both their games, first turret. Expectation is that they can keep the early game snowball going. We'll see if they can make that one happen. And if they win, they just take control of second spot in the group.
Yeah, and even though they could lose this game and still have a path out of groups, it makes it so much easier to go into week 2 at a 2-1, especially when the team that they'd be beating and pushing down to 1-2 is Gen.G, who many people saw as the favorite going into the World Championship. So I really respect how committed they are here to going all out in the early game with aggression.
This is going to be fun. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. We have upsets on the day. Let's see who can take second spot in the group. Just one game behind RNG before the second round robin. CFO, ooh, that's actually, I think they missed the ward. I think that's actually not quite in the brush. I could be wrong. Doesn't matter regardless. Either way, they get the ward down. They say, okay, nothing special is happening. No one's going for the sweep. First blood would be nice. Now not going to be a play. Defensive ward and a walk away for Gen.G, just huddling around because, you know, Pyke level 1, you are dying to Pyke landing a hook on you level 1.
it's not going to show anything, but I actually love what Gen.G did. They warded both entrances to their jungle, and then they 5-stacked on a bush. So the only way they were actually going to fight that is if they saw on the ward that not all 5 people were invading. Because if it is a 5v5, they'd lose it anyway. So they managed to not get any disadvantages level 1, even though Oyster had a stronger comp.
All right, well, they get some loot in their jungle as there's no invade, and also you can link your league account with Prime Gaming to receive free in-game content as well. Free digital goods, get yourself on that one. Looks pretty fun. I will say, I get my capsules, I get my Legends of Runeterra capsules, I get my Valorant stuff, I get my League of Legends stuff, it's great. You know, you can jump in on that one as well. Red buff gonna be claimed here on the top side, and unsurprisingly, Gemini would like to path toward the bottom lane.
Yeah, and we gotta pay very close attention to Lehends Flash, because, or Ruler Flash for that matter. The last time we saw a Caitlyn lane lose, it was because the enemy bottom lane was able to get a flash early, and then when the jungler comes down at level 3 with double buffs, there was little tools left to escape. Because Gen.G want to be able to push. Good hook.
Shot. Auto-traded, but the thing is, the way out is so much worse.
They did it.
That is a really, really, really troll choice. There's a flash forced out. Actually goes Red Raptors into mid lane. And you've got, basically, Chovy's gonna have his ult before he has his flashback.
Yeah, so that is a big win for Gemini. It hardly costs him anything. Maybe about 5 seconds on the Wolf Camp, so an extremely efficient first gank. It also makes it more difficult for Chovy to have mid-prior, which then, in turn, will make it more difficult for Gen.G's bottom lane to push if Syndra is constantly in river. So not a bad start.
Really?
Look at that return, though.
Yeah, well practiced by Lehends. Of course, you can always get the health back, but you jock into the brush, it's going to be fine. But hold it as long as possible for the heavy slow. And they've already preempted it. They're already aware, hey, this could be the play. The trinket ward's over the wall. So as soon as it comes out of Tri-Brush, they'll know this information. But they're not level 2 down to this bottom lane. A slow for luck.
Oh, that's huge.
Space, but it's going to deny the entire wave. What beautiful pathing and coordination. Burn a flash out of mid. Burn the entire
Sejuani
wave out of bot lane. And it's an early TP. I don't know if Rest have a stun available, but Doran just letting him get XP at all in this lane.
That was so good by the Flying Oysters. They trade aggressively enough to make it so Gen.G can't get level 2. The Lehends comes down still at level 3 and makes Gen.G not want to stay under wave. It doesn't actually give them a goldie, but like that's the type of stuff they need to do to have a chance in this game.
Well, Peanut does what he can. He got the full 7 camp, clear the full bot to top road, plus the scuttle, and your Krugs are definitely up. There is 0 chance. I mean, they saw Lehends in mid with 8 CS. They saw him path bot side. Everyone knows for sure Krugs are up. Peanut gonna get handsomely rewarded, solid 100-something gold. Rest probably not diveable, but it does mean Peanut's gonna get a very, very wealthy first recall.
Yeah, Peanut with the Hecarim is very happy about what he was able to do. His bot lane is probably not as happy about it. But that's the trade-off you often make when you're playing Hecarim. You don't want to have to be ganking lanes at the pace of Lee Sin. That's the natural power trade-off between the two junglers. Lee Sin wants to gank Hecarim, wants to farm more early. Ruli's even gone call, so it's interesting that they just haven't been able to get any presence in this lane yet, despite having Caitlyn Lux, but game's a little bit more stable now, so we're more likely to see them shove.
Rare miss by Lehends, didn't pop his E for damage into Shunn. A little unnecessary, doesn't matter a ton. That 80 health is going to change much of anything, but is what it is. Wards go down, sweeper in for the Pyke as the top laners keep trading back and forth. Of course, Doran's already gotten his first recall off. Rest's going to take the latest one he can. He knows the route that Hecarim is taking. He knows he wants to full clear up, as there was a ward put down early on the river to watch that Hecarim is not coming into the bottom lane just yet. Will be running to his own Raptors. There is a trinket ward that I believe timed out. Okay, so I don't know if it actually saw the Hecarim itself, but either way, Peanut is still going back through for his clear. And Rest has about 40 seconds before Hecarim can be in his lane.
Yeah, and Cloud Drake being the first Drake in this one, it's one of the more difficult Drakes to solo because it attacks so fast, so I don't think we're going to see it taken that early, especially not by Gen.G.
If he holds E, he's always safe here. You can preempt it, yeah. So it goes in before there's ever going to be a light binding. No trap follow-up, he's going to be out, but it does mean the wards get killed. Peanut staying on the bottom side. They can count camps, they know what things he's gone for down here, but still, I don't think there's ever a chance Lee Sin counter jungle's left side jungle. While again, looking for the stealth hook play. Just forcing Gen.G off, guarantees Shunn is not going to be zoned off any of his farm. Easy auto Ren kills his caster minions. And Lee Sin's still around here. in case the rewards in the River doesn't jump over the wall just yet. Rest gonna take a pretty aggressive trade here. Has Merc treads and Magic over the play. Keep on the stun is a low duration, and there's no flash. Next spell, the cooldowns are too long. Didn't have another W backup. Only now hits level 6. That was the wave for level 6. Couldn't clear enough of it out. As they fight now for the bottom scuttle, will be claimed by CFO. Still a very close game though. Gold identical. Cannon grabbed by the Kalista.
Yeah, that's the thing. This much early game power, even gold. So Gen.G is the team that wants to keep the kills 0-0 and the gold even until 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. Flying Oyster is the team that wants to see that lead going up and to the right. They're doing a pretty good job pushing the tempo. Rest gets the first plate, gets first to level 6, is breaking a bit of an advantage in the top lane, but 400 gold, 300 gold on Renekton versus Sejuani isn't going to matter later on in the game. Flying Oyster are still looking for that fight to break open the game.
Well, 12 camps through for the Hecarim, feeling pretty good right there. Gets his second recall off, going to have plenty on the way towards either Triforce or Divine Thunder, but again,
very good.
Zone Gen.G out of the bot lane. They will do so yet again here. Level 4 only on Ruler, as a second turret plate is claimed, but he will still be back in range to get most of the caster minions. Now, the casters actually, interestingly, so gold-wise, they have a lot less than melee minions. It's 14 and 21. XP is actually a lot closer. So in terms of like being zoned off of, or like catching XP in levels, casters actually still hold a large percentage of it.
Still a very impressive early game from Flying Oyster, just because of who they're doing it against, right? Chovy, Ruler, two of the best laners in their position in the world. And you look at those CS differences. A lot of it has to do with Gemini and him getting the early flash, providing the early pressure onto the bottom lane. But Peanut also one of the best junglers at the World Championship.
Yeah.
Gemini doing a great job pressuring, but we'll see how this game ends up breaking, because finally Chovy's made it out of mid lane. Gen.G's pushed this up the turret. They might go for a dive.
Back up. They've got the root already. They got to ult him in, but Shunn's not level 6. They're going to try to burn him, and first blood comes through. Second blood instantaneously as well. Chovy's like, you can gank 3 times, buddy. I only need 1.
And that is the difference. Think of all the times Flying Oyster had the wave stack ready to go for a dive, and Ruler and Lehends just left.
Yep.
This time, though, the Kalista, Pyke under the turret, 4 members of Gen.G, they catch them there. They were unwilling to leave. They didn't read the play as far ahead as Gen.G did. So the first time Gen.G goes for aggression, it works perfectly. And Chovy's now in control of that mid lane.
Yeah, Ward goes down. Ward probably doesn't see Chovy himself, but they're like, Lee Sin's behind us. But no one's calling that Ahri's missing.
Trap, root, fear, root, dead. Crazy CC chain.
Yep. Gemini being there was maybe enough if Hecarim was the only gank, but they didn't track Chovy. Shows up, gets the double kill, and he is off to the races now. Huge on this Ahri. And Gen.G looking very good. Only a 400 gold lead, but I mean, against this composition, every single champion outscales their opponent.
Yeah, also Renekton being over level 6 with ultimate up usually means that the team gets control of the top Rift Herald. So right off of the reset, Koala does not go bottom lane. This is the correct choice. He sends up for top lane. I also think it's the correct choice for Gen.G. Caitlyn lanes do not like to leave, so they're just going to try and get plates for Ruler in trade for this valuable Rift Herald.
Well, second plate claim. That's actually now a tied score there. 2 plates apiece down to the bottom lane. Keep in mind, though, Herald in the inventory of CFO's jungler means you've always got a chance to crack the entire bottom tower. The third plate is, I think, partway dead, but still standing, so the plate charge itself wouldn't quite kill. 1 plate now top side for Doran, who TP'd out of his lane at level 3 to help his duo, and now with Gemini around with Rest, good timing on the ulti, great Q, Doran lands the stun, Gemini flashes back out, but they have the damage to fight Peanut, they're gonna kill him! Overextension from Gen.G's jungler.
Peanut was out! He was saved! Doran did everything! He interrupted the Lee Sin, he ulted him, and then Peanut said, you know, maybe I can get... No, you cannot get more damage. You needed the run, Peanut. He completely gives that one away. Rest with the kill.
A little bit of a sigh of relief on CFO. They were looking down the barrel of losing this game, but a bit more towards their side. As level 7 is in for Kalista. Ruler has his ulti, Lehends the same. Koala level 5 would love the ulti to help secure lethal damage. But Flash and all the summoners actually up for the entire bottom lane here. Gonna walk right into the root.
Wow.
Knows he has Kalista back pocket and says, yep, this is the play. We go for Ruler, forcing his flash. He's gonna flash follow. Will they have the kill? Has the ulti. Ren! No! Swipes him for one, but they gotta run away now. There isn't a way for Shunn to live. The Koala runs pretty fast. Chovy's ulted once, gets knocked back by the dragon. Lucky it's not a Hex tech, and it's gonna find it. The charm lands, the snipe comes through, and Koala drops now as well.
Such aggression by the Flying Oyster bottom lane, but the collapse does eventually come through from Peanut and Chovy. Getting the kill on the Ruler, though, like mission success in terms of shutting down the Caitlyn so far. I definitely have to say 0-1-2 and only 86 CS at 11 minutes. And then this top lane having the kill, having the double buffs, Rest definitely able to take a chunk out of this top turret.
2 plates there.
Where did the Rift Throw go?
Mid? I think it got mid plates for Chovy roaming. That's my guess.
Okay, possible. Watching this one more time, you can see how many tools Kalista Pyke have. So you miss the hook, and you just still get thrown in to be able to get post-flash net stun onto Ruler, and then execute him with the Pyke ultimate.
And yeah, he tries to run, but Chovy's like, I know where you're going. There's only one way out for you. Second ult comes over the wall, and just good charm.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. When Ahri moved bottom, Rift Herald was dropped in the mid-wave. That got 2 extra plates and puts this turret precariously low.
Mission will be able to farm the 4th plate for himself as well. Of course, 1 was shared back to his jungler for the summon, but at least some money in the inventory. So we can still see the gold is relatively close. First drink of the game has not yet been claimed, as Rest will take a small trade. Actually saves his stun for the whole thing. Doesn't really value the damage. Ow! Damage towards Shunn. But now we got ourselves going on to this first dragon of the game. +1 Cloud Drake. Thank you, Pick'ems.
It is slow, though. 12 minutes, 30 seconds. Going to put us at a very late soul. So much of this game was really about trying to deny farm onto the Caitlyn. No one had the tempo to be able to take the dragon down. Shield bow procced just by Lux.
Yeah, okay. Look for the shot on a Chovy. Lands it, but with the charm landing, he's never able to E forward. Chovy the ulti anyway, goes back in for an aggressive trade. Knows what he has, what his limits are. And indeed just gets the damage done. My ult's down. Might as well do 300 damage before I have to go.
Chovy, some cheeky Everfrosting. Definitely has the lion's share of the gold so far for Gen.G.
Yeah. I also love how aggressive Chovy is. Like, he went cooldown boots in a matchup where I feel like most mages in general buy Merc Treads into Syndra because it's Syndra, QE combo, hurts a lot, and he's like, nah, it's fine. I like this one. Ow. Yeah. So that's the actual combo of Kate Lux, is when I'm about to land the Kate ult, just Lux ult them. If they scatter, I land Kate ult. If they don't scatter, I get the double Lux ulti, and you know, body blocked. But yep, Shunn is out of lane. Shield bow popped prior, and Gen.G still pushing on the bottom side.
Caitlyn Lux, that's the display. Doesn't need to win early on in the game to still be able to have that. That's not even a mythic item completed by Ruler, by the way. That was a shield bow completed Caitlyn. And Lehends and Ruler were able to take this turret down solo. Yep. They really want to be able to get this last plate as well as the first turret. They have 5 more seconds, but they got to be a little careful.
Not quite enough time anymore, so just the poke instead.
I mean, they're still going to get it.
Oh, wait. Yep.
They got it.
No,
wow.
No plate, no plate.
No, really?
450. He got first turret gold, but not plate gold, so just off by a little bit. eSports overlay is about a half second behind actual game time, so the plate had dropped. Is it a big deal? Not really. Is 160 gold going to change who wins this game? Almost certainly not, but did go for harass slightly over plate gold and could have gotten that.
Someone's going to clip that later when it does actually cost him the game. But
yeah, you know.
Possible.
One CS also to go until Koala's done. That is the worst feeling, is like I would love to greed for 30 seconds, but it's not worth the tempo loss.
Definitely
But that would have been cooldown boots, or Zerker Greaves done.
Yeah, absolutely. Instead, he just comes with 2 daggers. Instead, no control ward. AD carry thinks it's fine. Support is very angry that he has the extra dagger, but some things never change.
Wants the zeal. It's actually very common for AD carries to skip boost 2 for as long as possible and just go for power spikes. Try to get to item 2 and 3. Just get to IE. Those Zerks are very efficient. Good damage out of the jungler. Follows through ward. Auto is... Oh, it's going to be so close to killing him, but the shield is going to keep him alive. Gemini will set up for the Lux ulti. Will Gemini die? Yes, he will drop, but Doran may not be around much longer. Ulti, I believe Koala may have still been able to share a cut as his ult was in the air, but doesn't take the kill itself.
Yeah, 1 for 1 in a 2v4. Hecarim stealing Raptors, Caitlyn pushing mid, Ahri pushing top. It will equalize turrets for the Flying Oysters, and they have to stay aggressive. They have to continue to go for plays like that.
Now, with the gold close, you should allow your champions to be able to do their jobs, and still be stronger in the early game. But Chovy, solo gold to the top side, 165 CS, highest in the game. That's with him roaming to several good plays towards the bottom side. So perfection so far out of what many consider the best mid laner in the world.
Yeah, Chovy, pretty good. He burned Flash level 2 and still has this advantage. But you can see Doran teleports in to save this turret. And Lehends is hoping to be able to get under turret to join him, but Gemini cuts him off. Narrowly dodges that first gank and actually falls for it. So definitely an outplay by Lehends in a very difficult map position. Being able to use the Sejuani Ignite, get the Lux ultimate down to at least get one. It's a small consolation for Gen.G.
1 for 1. 1,700 gold lead though. Feeling pretty solid right now. Gen.G down a Drake, but overall the top scoreboard puts them at winning. And with the team comps on the left and right hand side, looking pretty good right now for the LCK champions. Looking at 2-1. See if it keeps going though. There is much more game to play, of course. Second Herald now being started up by Peanut.
What's interesting about team comps like what Flying Oyster has is, I'm tempted to say, oh, the gold lead is lying to you. Gen.G is a lot further ahead. But like, so much of it will just come down to playmaking.
Yeah.
Like, it actually doesn't matter how much you get theoretically outscaled if you have a ton of playmaking ability. Because you can still get the right CC chain on an unfathomably fed Caitlyn and win the fight. So one of the reasons I really like this draft from the Flying Oysters is it gives them early game agency. And even if it doesn't blow the game wide open, while it doesn't give them a reliable way to win or even a high percentage way to win, it still has a way to win, which I think is important when you're the underdog in a matchup like this.
Let's see if they can find that then. 1,500 gold difference, still up that first Drake. Second one would make the scoreboard relatively close, but there's a lot still to play for. And this one is Caitlyn taking her normal position here at 50 minutes of I push the mid lane. Call me when you need me. I'm here to get 11, 12, 13 CS a minute. This cannon goes down and Gemini gets some vision. We now get to fight for this Drake, mounting up in 2 seconds. Shunn would love to join his team. Nice shot by Lux. Gemini does not shield mission, only himself. Doesn't matter a ton though, but over the wall! Shunn caught out, cleanses, flashes, and Gemini tanks the charm.
What a bro. Great job. I mean, it was a cleansed Kalista, so the charm would have been very short duration. Rift Herald drop mid, and no Ahri ult if there is a fight soon.
Danger though, Gemini getting dropped down to 400 HP, has to jump back to his teammate. Herald charge is gonna get through. Yes, it does. So mid lane turret quite low. A rend is something. And now as he smites for health, he's gonna try to regen up off the blue buff. Gemini back to 2/3 or more. Hook comes in, but Sejuani is tanky. No flash, no problem. Blue claimed. Quick stun comes through for rest, but you really cannot kill Sej. He's ignited, he ults. Hecarim over the top. Koala wants to live, pulled back into safety. Double knock, but he will die for that one. Just delivers himself as gold, and Ruler gets a double kill.
Man, Doran is a brick. Like, he is so difficult to kill in this game. Gen.G, that could be the fight that makes this no longer close, especially because they're getting the Mountain Drake. Armor MR for that beefy front line, and the kills went over to the carry. So Ruler, who had been heavily denied for most of the game, Cull cashed in, 2 kills in this one, Mountain Drake in hand, Gen.G back on track.
Gen.G are off to a tear in this one. Coming into Worlds, they had something like a 90... Hold on. Chovy.
Go for it.
Charm interrupts Q2. And that means there was no play to be had. With ulti, it was going to be kind of close with Blue Smite. Maybe not quite lethal. Coming into Worlds, Gen.G had a 95% gold lead. 95% win rate with a gold lead at 14. And getting higher after this one.
Yeah, and just look at... I talked about playmaking on Flying Oysters. You don't want to make the play on the Sejuani. You do that stuff to anyone else, and you probably kill them. But you do that to a Sejuani, and you move yourself into a choke so that the Hecarim can ult you, you're going to have a bad time. So Flying Oyster get funneled in to a choke point by the baiting Sejuani. It's a disaster. They know it. That was not a good fight.
Now it's going to hurt, but we're going to hope to see if there's playmaking to be had. We press tournament into the game. Baron at Nashor has spawned, and Gen.G say, yes, we will indeed take control over the top side. Koala fights for a ward. He'll survive it, takes a Caitlyn ulti, but he'll regen it back no problem. red buff to be stolen. Gemini would like to fight for it. Dives in, what a beautiful kick! And the playmaking is through! Ruler's down. Shunn might live, but Peanut kills them all the same. 1-for-1, no 80 carries. Aruda's there on a Koala. He would love to live, and Rest takes him down. The playmaking, CFO got a 2-for-1.
Beautiful start to the fight by the Flying Oysters. Ruler, doesn't matter if he's got all that range with the RFC if you get right on top of him first. Chovy also wasn't there at the start of the fight. Unfortunately, Kalista did die as well, so otherwise I think we could have seen a rogue-like Baron start right away off of that, but that's the type of play that Flying Oyster unfortunately need to make again if they want to win this game.
They squeak back about 400 of the 2,000 gold difference here as Chovy's like, you're on my blue buff. Charm nearly lands. That was close. Gemini smites.
Oh,
I think that was spellbook. I think Chovy spellbooked it.
Oh, yeah,
and then bursted it with his combo. So Gemini, yeah, his smite's still up. The timing was too tight. He could have stolen it. I believe it was up at that point in time. Certainly up now, but doesn't matter too much. I do want to get a quick sidestep. Hold on. We'll go to this fight here.
Yeah, so you can see Renekton and Ahri both showing bot lane, so it's supposed to be this 4v4. And Gen.G looks aggressive, and just watch. Ruler doesn't have vision. Gen.G feels very confident, but taking the Q onto the red buff, definitely not in Ruler's calculus that was a possibility. And Peanut, by taking down the Kalista, makes it so the Baron can't be taken. Also gives up his own life, so ends up making it a one fight for Flying Oyster.
So one discussion I've seen is the prevalence of Oblivion Orb and Morellonomicon at Worlds so far.
I was having the same thought.
Yeah, is a big Morellonomicon enjoyer. So the Grievous Wounds is not exceptional in this game. It's not bad, right? Gore Drinker, Lee Sin, Renekton Q. There's a Kalista with a shield bow. Like, it's gonna be okay. The amount of healing reduced is probably going to be like 1,200 into the game.
Currently it's 43.
Cool, yeah. So, not high.
Yeah.
However, it is 2,500 gold for 300 health and 90 ability power.
Yeah.
It is a really good stat stick that happens to have Grievous Wounds on it. Think about all the brews that build Chempuck Chainsword.
What would be a comparable stat stick? What's another item you go for?
Literally
for a mage, is there another item here that has health AP?
I'm partial to, we see Shadow Flame a lot.
Yep.
Shadow Flame, it's 400 more gold, which makes it like a later power spike, but it's overall more offensive power.
Has 10 more AP, 100 less health.
Yeah.
And the magic pen passive.
Yeah, which I think is very, very good and supported pretty well. There's things like Banshee's Veil, that's really efficient, but you're not against that much AP. It's a little bit awkward. I don't actually even hate Seraphs. It's less AP, similar health. It's got some haste on it, though.
Sure, but then you also never go as well, which is nice.
Yeah, which is like kind of nice. Like, I think Seraph's actually a pretty decent second item as a bridge there as well. But the idea is like, I'm just trying to build like some kind of bridge item that like is a bunch of stats, and then I can go like these multipliers like Zhonya's. Like, I don't like Zhonya's early because there's so few stats on the item that you kind of power trap. The active's good, but you don't kill anyone. And he's like going Zhonya's now, and like, okay, that's cool. So there are options out there. Cosmic Drive is good. Lichbane on some champions is good. There are a lot of good second items that I think that like they're still more undiscovered in the pro meta. But Chovy in particular has been doing a lot of Morello second as a bridge.
Yeah. Good point. Nice little item discussion. I know you go deep on the item stuff.
I love me some items.
Yeah. I will continue this, but I know there's a Drake spawning in 10 seconds.
Okay.
So I don't want to just keep talking about Morellonomicon as the game unfolds. 2,000 gold lead. Let's see who can get set up on mid-wave. Currently, Gen.G's a little slow on it, so they're going to have to brute force their way through. Luckily, the Lux is very good at this because you can fire vision into a brush very well. Unless you get stunned like that.
They pulled in Lehends, but he's got a stopwatch. The charm, and they're going to kill him back. A 1-for-1, no smite for CFO. That stun is massive, but he's able to pull him right back out. However, does Rest get to live? His flash is available. His ulti is up also. He feels safe so far. Here comes Chovy. Over the wall towards Koala, gets the charm. Shunn going to be able to cleanse that one away, but the health bars are getting lower and lower. Ignite is on the Rest. His ulti has already been burned, and he doesn't have a way back into this one. Doran still just too tanky. A 1-for-1, but map control belongs to Gen.G.
Dude, how's that for a caster curse? Yeah, Lux is really good at this. Dead. Yeah. Right away. Lehends, I think, needed to be more cautious. You should check with your E. That's one of the reasons this range support was actually playable even in older metas before enchanters were good, because you can so easily check without dying into brush, but you could see, I believe it was a mission stun from Syndra that originally started the CC chain. And we're just going to go again. They've set up again around mid lane. Sejuani this time has a bit of a flank, and Gen.G is the first one in the river.
Oh, he's going to be right on top of many people, though. Chovy doesn't get stunned for enough, though. Peanut managed to tank the hook coming out of Koala. That I think nearly could have been Chovy dying. Yes, he has flash. I believe his stopwatch is still available also. But at least burns the cooldown, lets the reinforcements show up, and now just being zoned out. The cupcakes are there. They jump over the wall what they can, but it's not going to matter. I don't think they have a way in. Not easily. Koala tanks it still, and the ulti goes incredibly wide by Doran. But it just doesn't matter at this point. They're all going to get away. This is the third Drake of the game claimed to the Gen.G's name.
Nicely done overall. They just had a lot of power. They didn't even need to land their CC, but they set up the traps and the choke. Flying Oyster just had no way in, and they are just continuing to scale up while the gold stays close.
Ward dropped in the pathway down. Koala, is like, can I play for this? Yeah, okay. Cool. There's no charm coming my way. Ward goes down. Walks through, sees a control ward. Knows with W and E and whatnot, he's probably going to be safe. Indeed is so. Go back to the farm side, and now Rest going to continue his battle there with Doran. Of course, so tanky on the Sejuani. This is Black Cleaver coming through, and it looks like it's going to be a hold breaker as well for Rest. So he is building to try to have pressure on this side lane. He'll be nearly immortal with a build like this, at least on that side. And with the Cleaver, can actually help Lee Sin and Kalista get through Sejuani.
Yeah. Okay. Morellonomicon.
Yes.
Because I've seen this so much on Twitter, and I actually haven't analyzed it myself, which is why I want to talk to you about it.
Yeah, cool.
Everyone tunnels on like, wow, this healing reduction is nothing for the first 30 minutes. But then like after 30 or 35 minutes, you're actually reducing a lot of healing.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a multiplicative scalar in that sense. Like people just heal for way more later in the game. What is your opinion? Is it just fine to build early and people are tunneling on the wrong things? Or in an ideal world, would you actually still want to see it fourth?
So I think, so there's cases where like Oblivion really early is like supported, right? So like if you're playing, if you're like Lux against Soraka in bot lane, I Oblivion first back, and then I sit on that for a long time and I buy real items. As a bridge item of like, it's 90 AP, 300 health, I still think things like Rileys are probably a bit better and whatnot. But in a world where you're like, my 3-item build needs to be really good, we're 32 minutes in.
Right. If
you suddenly really care about Grievous, it's like, well, I was slightly worse at item 2, but it's way better item 3.5.
Yes, you're like Order here. Like, you actually like that 3-item combo at 30 minutes, and you think just the stats of having Morello's second are actually better than having the Zhonya second.
I think it's defensible. Yeah. Like, I mean, 300 health is such a good stat. Like,
I mean, it is defensible, especially.
The build's cohesive.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, we got a root going on near the blast plant, gets him back to safety. Gemini saves every summoner, does jump to a support ward. That's W on cooldown for 12 seconds still as we see a fight in the bottom side. Koala does not win against Peanut, but knows that any ulti can be preempted and immune functionally by just dashing out to the side, and indeed is going to be okay into that one. 28 minutes into the game, a while to go until Hextech Soul is a possibility, but Gen.G continuing to own the map. You can see their ward coverage is all around the top side. There is no vision around Baron, and Koala knows he is in danger anytime he tries any of this.
Yeah, and speaking of 3-item builds, Ruler now has the Infinity Edge, so a whole bunch of power.
Onto a ward, and they're gonna find the root on the two. The dive, the double fear, and they've given themselves up, but the shields are on in time. They're gonna get him back. Ruler drops for a jungler. Rest alive, just barely, but Shunn maybe in the wrong spot, trying to kite it out, trying to stay alive. Shield bow pop. Q comes back through. He won't quite die. Finally drops indeed. Lehends, flash to follow. Killed off by Rest, but the man is alone. Will there enough cooldowns? Yes, there's going to be a lot of damage, and he will die. Shutdown comes through to Peanut. Only 2 kills on the one side, 4 on the other for Gen.G.
Heartbreaker fight for Flying Oyster there. It looked so bad at the start.
Make it.
Chovy?
Peanut, nah.
Chovy popped off in that fight. Ruler, once again, though, finds himself in a very precarious position, dies at the very start of that fight. But just, I think like the sustained damage of the Black Cleaver Hecarim and this Ahri has been enough. So they're just like, why don't we take the fast way? Let's just not look both ways before crossing the street.
Going forward into the fog also, definitely a danger.
Yeah, but the rest of the team is fairly close, and Ruler gets up so far there that Mission from around the side is just able to surprise him. I mean, he was in full vision. The minions were tracking him the whole time. So I think definitely a misplay by Ruler to step up so far. And then you can see the rest of the fight, because 2 players were so heavily chunked at the start for the Flying Oysters, it's still going to be in the favor of Gen.G.
And +2, map control retained. We tick ever closer to the Hextech Soul being a possibility here. Gen.G probably about a minute away. Yeah, 42 seconds. And that means it's going to be happening. You can see actually a pretty even spread of damage. Ruler did die pretty early on, but yeah, the Bash Brothers up at the top side doing just as much as anyone else did really here. Luxel actually required to spot for vision. They weren't quite sure what might be happening. Even Caitlyn gonna spot it.
They could just start now. I think they're going to, because this is their best chance to kind of flip the game. If they can get first setup here,
TP up for both top laners. Yeah, Blue gonna pop here as well. Here comes the teleports down. Renekton and Sejuani coming from opposite side.
Yeah.
Pina on the front.
Mission wants to one-shot someone. Watch Lehends.
Big damage. Lehends drops in deep, but will they get the rest of it though? The flee and the death for the AD carry. This is a good trade already. It's gonna be a flip. Who's gonna get the smite? It goes to Gemini. Jumps to his team. Chovy has to cleanse away rest stun, and it's time for a full retreat, but will it happen? Stopwatch gives him 2 seconds to run away. And just like that, CFO pulled the gambit. They go -1 kills, but they get the Baron.
Dude, that is the play. You have Kalista, just go. And I also want to point out, so we got a Let's Go Oysters chant. Missions, Syndra is legit.
Yeah.
Part of it, I think, is that it is so absent in the meta. People are forgetting about some of the Syndra angles, but like this angle around the side of the red buff right there, Lehends does not see Syndra until now. And you're already stunned, and you're like a little baby squishy Lux. You're overkill by Mission. He could have done that to Ruler or Lux if someone comes around the corner that way.
With the fight coming around here, Doran does not get himself a red buff, but Lux might help. Koala, low on health, finds his own stun, could regen when needed. And he's not going to be in a burst angle. Okay, it's a flashless.
Oh my God.
Sejuani, tanky, ult still going to land. Mission gets the kill.
He is an absolute unit.
Yeah.
But they still take him down. And a shutdown, too, over to the Syndra, who's really scaling up in a big way. Rest, though.
Yeah, that's a 2v1. This is a much less tanky top laner. Rest would like to get an empowered Q, but a juke back by Chovy prevents him a lot of the healing, and he's going to burn him down. Add a couple hundred there to the Melanomicon for Chovy. Kill finally comes across.
Oh, yeah, let's check it out. That's 775. That's pretty good.
Yep.
16 stacks on the Medjais as well, but technically Flying Oyster still has a couple people wearing Baron. Oh, Gemini.
That's spicy. He's got no mana.
What?
Good sidestep.
Chovy's so good.
Not caught shopping. Top lane goes down. The Mission does get some gold back. We are 100 gold apart in this game. Or sorry, 1,000 gold apart in this game. I moved the 10th place over by 1. Gemini got a Q to a minion to try to get out. Peanut does have ulti, but does he quite have lethal damage? With Koala coming around, it's going to be a bit tight here. There we go. Conqueror stacked up. Koala stuns to buy some time. Gemini is a shield. Get it blocked. Will do so. Kicks for safety. And at this point, you should have Mission are here. You can't go for any more than this. This is definitely safety on the way out. Kill the ward and reset. Keep in mind, though, the timer is ticking down 3 minutes until Hex Tech Soul.
Yep. CFO definitely bought some time with that Baron take. And man, Freak, this really continues the conversation of Gen.G, right? Tournament favorites by many, really getting pushed hard here by the Flying Oysters. By no means are they in full control of this game. Doran getting picked up, Baron goes over to CFO, Ruler been caught out of position multiple times. We have a 4-0-3 Syndra on the other side. Mission is a player with a lot of Worlds experience. Flying Oyster is definitely a competitor, but Gen.G really want to close this one out because the game has gotten to a very precarious place.
Getting closer and closer to Ruler not being an easy target either as he has the stopwatch. That might be a move for his Guardian Angel. Could even be like Bloodthirster to try to immune some more Syndra damage as a 3v1 to the bottom side. Doran feels so safe, jumps on in. He's got Chovy nearby. Lux gonna land damage on a Mission, and that will charm and kill Koala. The support is down. No Pyke to be had. A flash forced out by Chovy. He saved the Everfrost during that first kill.
Doran is just so tanky. He is so unkillable. I mean, Mission with the Void Staff, if he used his full rotation, I think would actually do a significant chunk to the Sejuani, but he really is trying to save that threat for when the Ahri dashes in, when he can get a stun onto Ruler or Lehends, so he needs to save it, and it's just kind of allowing Doran to do whatever he wants in this one.
Frozen Heart, Force of Nature, stun. Wow, the flash is up Chovy. He's gonna be okay for now. Stopwatch gets rid of some of the damage. Gemini gonna be dove upon, but gets out as well. It's Mission down. 1,000 gold shut down the Doran, and they can't get the rend. They can't kill him. There's 200 HP left on the back line, but they're just not gonna die.
Did you see that damage onto Ruler though? Just one button. That was the gameplay button onto Ruler right there, but he still had the stopwatch. He could stop it. They get the bounty. Sejuani's gonna be even more unkillable. Pretty much just bounty and gold accruing though at this point with 1 minute to go to Dragon. So flashes are the big thing to have to check here. Chovy's is down, Syndra's is down, which is going to be really big as we approach 1 minute out to that Hextech Soul.
Chovy knows how much time he has. He TP'd to the top side to get the wave pushed in, get a bit more money. He's not going to be able to buy with it. In fact, his build is done anyway. 20 Zakmajai's Void Staff in.
True.
And
If he dies, he'd probably want to switch it out for Death Cap, but he's going to be 3,000 gold away from that. Yeah, let's watch this one more time. It's just Gen.G trying to set up this siege, and Mission does get baited a little bit, thinking he can one-shot Chovy. Or Ruler. Ruler steps up just to auto attack, and while he's rooted, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think everything hit Ruler before the stopwatch.
Yeah,
the stopwatch didn't buy any time. And that draws him forward to get the kill.
He gets the Ren, doesn't kill Doran, of course. They managed to attack something else to get the extended Ren range, but doesn't kill. It should take some more poke, and guess what?
No
Sejuani's here,
no
Chovy's here. Mission makes the stopwatch come through. Can he live? Doran cues him in the back, takes the kill down without a mid laner. I don't know how CFO could fight for this one. Gen.G gonna turn for the Hextech Soul.
Yeah, I think it's a fool's errand to contest this Hextech Soul now. Gen.G really punishing the low mobility of Syndra. Getting the flash means they hard focus. Mission needed to be miles away, but at the same time needed to be in mid lane to try and get prio. So just really well played by Gen.G there. They now have the soul. Mission is still down. They're gonna force around Baron.
Here we go. Started up by Doran. Not the fastest to solo Baron, but he's basically invincible anyway, so not gonna be a problem for him. A bit of time bought as they spot rest on the way over. Gemini, outsmot for Baron. Outsmote for Baron last time around. Cupcake, root, a lot of damage, rest. Charmed now as well, just attacked. He's gonna find the stun. Can it somehow kill Doran? A flash of the wall keeps him alive. Koala dives in. Oh, he doesn't land the ulti. Chovy stays up. Then Gen.G feeling comfortable now. Gonna get the TP out of Mission. Round 2.
Gold still remarkably close. Needs someone in that pit to actually hit the Baron. Okay, they're chunking it down. It's taking a little while though. Flying Oyster has ult up on the Syndra, but he's just so squishy and is working with no vision. So Flying Oyster can't really get in for this one.
Yep, the rest sees what's going on. Ruler still would hit from the backside, jumps the pit finally, make sure he's not an easy target. Gonna put it in range, and it's gonna be smote. There's the claim. Baron on the board. Number 2 of the game. Gen.G getting there first. But up 4,000 gold, 3.5. Up Hextech Soul. Have all the cards they need to win this game.
Absolutely. Hextech Soul never going away. Baron will go away in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Guardian Angel, I think, critically picked up by Ruler. You also have the Zonias completed for Chovy, so either of the carries that Mission was hoping to assassinate with ultimate have an immunity to it somehow.
All right.
They can hook this guy.
Round number 5.
I don't really know what it's going to do.
Can you kill Doran with 4 people? And you cannot because his teammates are around. Ulti's going to go wide. Rest coming back to the front line, but there's still no kills to be had. A stopwatch buys a moment, but just that as he goes down. A crit from Ruler kills him. Gemini will take a single tick of damage. Chovy is now godlike. A stopwatch from Mission, and that will be failed. He'll fall now as well. The hook comes in on a Chovy. Still tanky enough, though. They cannot find lethal damage. Ulti comes across for a bit. Looking for the stun combo, and it will not happen. Ruler cleans up the double kill. That is a clean ace. Gen.G lose no one.
25 stacks on Chovy's Soul Stealer. A near perfect game for him. 7 kills, 11 assists, and even though it took over 39 minutes, the important thing for Gen.G is they are the ones killing the Nexus and moving to 2-1.
Definitely a fun one, a pretty close one at that. A lot of pressure on the bottom side. Moments of greatness of Baron for the PCS number 1, but at the end of the day, it is Gen.G going 2-1 to end the first round robin.
Couple wry smiles from Peanut at the end. No need to be elated after this one. This was the expected result for the LCK1 seed. Former world champion Ruler trying to repeat that feat with a completely different roster around him. A lot of Gen.G fans showing up as well to support this squad.
And we'll see him next week. That's going to be the end of it, right? Is who's going to take the final spot here. If they can get revenge over RNG, you can take the top spot at the very end of that one. If Flying Oyster can somehow step up, they've even got a chance to making that one happen. Anything can still be done here at Worlds. A well-deserved bow for a well-deserved victory. Chovy